Hi everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Maor and I'm a spiritual guide and I guide through people through their ascension and through their pranic living or breatharian initiations. Today I would like to talk about mastering the subconscious. Now first let's understand something. The subconscious, if you would look at a glacier, you will see that about 90% of the glacier is hidden. That's all the subconscious. That's where our character resides. That's where our fears come from. Those are the traumas, but also the good things that have built our character. Usually, a lot of the different psychologists will tell you that the subconscious or the mind, the sponge of the child, is completely empty. And therefore, all his behaviors are kind of set between the age of 5 to 7. So anything that you learn from your parents, anything that you, or any trauma that you had from another child in kindergarten, anything like that, just sits there. And your reaction to it is unconscious. For example, you were physically abused as a child. Therefore, when somebody comes to touch you or to hug you, you subconsciously react by going backwards, and you don't understand that you're doing that, but that's your immediate reaction. Now, when we're moving that immediate reaction to the awakened mind, to the conscious level, the person starts awakening, starts becoming more aware of the different programmings that he has. Now, all of us have subconscious programs in our mind. Some of them have been put there by our parents, some of them have been put there by us, by social normalities or social standards, and a lot of them are not good. A lot of them are just programs. For example, in my country, there's a lot of racism going on. And I didn't notice that I have all these things because my mind didn't want to admit it. But then I watched it on television, and then I watched television outside of the country, and I watched how they're trying to influence our opinions about different things, and I started becoming more and more aware of it. And then I started understanding that everybody is programmed in a certain way, and I can't even bring it up for a public discussion. So I just decided to do the work on myself. Now, let's take two very, very good examples of using the subconscious. There was a professor, and this is a story that different people tell in different ways, but it's true. There was a professor that decided to show his students how powerful the subconscious can be and the different postures that we have in our body. So he took them to a small town and he divided them to two different groups. And to the first group, he told them, you know something, I want you guys to walk a few hours in this beautiful town, and after that I want you just to fill a survey. So do whatever it is that you want to do. You know, go to the movies, drink, eat, meet different people, socialize and stuff like that. But I want you to take your pen and I want you to put it between your teeth, like this. And I want you to walk around like this for a few hours. And in the end, just fill up my survey. He went to the second group and said, I want you guys to do exactly the same thing as they're doing, walking around in the town, socializing, do whatever it is that you want to do and filling a survey in the end, but instead of having the pen between your teeth, I want you to have the pen in your mouth like this. And so you're walking around like this. So he did his analysis and he found out that Group A was about 30% more satisfied and happy with their experience in the town than Group B. And he asked them, do you know why this has happened? And most of them obviously said, no, we don't really understand. He said, but by telling you to put the pen between your teeth, I forced you to fake a smile. So you were walking around the town always smiling. Now, so it's not only that other people saw you smiling and made fun of you a little bit because you were walking around with a pen like a bunch of weird hippies, but it's because you reminded your subconscious all the reasons that you have to smile. So the muscles that work were the muscles that smile, and the subconscious immediately makes you feel happier. Now the other group, he told them, I forced you to have a frown, like this. And that means that I kept reminding, your subconscious kept reminding your body that right now you're in a state of frowning, in a state of sadness, being pissed off, not happy with whatever it is that you have. So the students were quite amazed, and the professor just explained to them that we can pretty much fake everything, every reaction or every posture in our body to have our body react in the way that it's programmed to. Another example is that I had a friend that is somewhere between a therapist and a psychologist, and he had a customer come up to him and tell him that he's completely depressed without any reason. Now, a lot of psychologists, they tried to see the reason, but he really couldn't find the origin of it. It wasn't a relationship, it wasn't a childhood trauma. The guy was just not happy with life, and he thought about it for a long time, and he decided to give him this exercise. He told him, my friend, Every day until our next session, which is in 2 weeks, I want you to go out and I want you to count crows. And he said, what? He said, yeah, I want you to go out, just take a walk out and count crows. How many crows do you see in the street? How many crows do you see wherever it is that you're walking? So the guy didn't really believe him, but he was out of any other choices. So he said, okay, I'm going to do it. He came back after 2 weeks and said, you know something? This actually worked. Like in the first few days, I didn't really understand what I was doing, and I was still pretty much depressed and everything. But with time, I started feeling really, really good after the exercise. And he asked, but how does it exactly work? What is it about crows that I'm... And so my friend told him, you know, it's not about crows. It's about the posture, and it's about being outside. Now, when a person is depressed, he's walking, he's closing his shoulders, and he's walking and looking down, and he walks like this. When a person has achieved something, is in gratitude for something, he opens his shoulders and he looks up. Now, feel the difference between looking down and looking up. When you're proud, you're looking up. So when the person, if I could have walked without moving the video camera right now, I would have done that. But when a person is really, really happy and content, he walks with pride, okay? Just like that. And by forcing him to first be outside, get out of his little bubble of depression, because people that are depressed usually never leave the house, breathing some really good air, going to a place that has crows, meaning like a park or something like that, and looking up, the posture of the body has changed. Therefore, the subconscious actually told the body right now, make this person a little bit more happy, remind him how it feels like to be more victorious and everything like that. In other words, the subconscious is a very, very powerful thing, and you need to understand what representation, what references your subconscious has. For example, particular people in your life. For example, particular actions or postures in your life. For me, for example, when I teach the breatharian methods, after the initiation, I ask my participants to at least 6 weeks to remain on non-solid food, meaning just liquids, just juice or anything like that. Why? Because the muscle that they have here, the muscle that we have in our jaw, once we start eating again, that muscle has a very, very strong memory, a memory allocation for food. So when a person goes through the initiation, they go through about a week and a half without having any food. Most of it is fasting. And then all the programming changes. And what I want is to enforce that new programming, to detach the old programming of being hunger and then eating and then being hunger and then eating. And when we do that, the person kind of like forgets everything that he knew about food, including the emotional attachments that he has. And then from then on, in order to incorporate it, in order to attach the new programming, he needs to take a very, very small break, which is just a few weeks, just to reinforce the new programming that he has learned. So you can actually use your subconscious. Now, a lot of people tell me that fake it till you make it feels like a lie. And sometimes when we fake a smile, we don't really believe in that smile. And it's true. I'm not saying that it's not true. But how many times in our life we wanted to change a habit and we faked something until we made it? How many times in our life we actually challenged ourselves to a really great change by forcing ourselves to be somebody else, somebody better than ourselves. Even if we go and start exercising more. In the beginning, we're moving from that lazy-ass person that doesn't want to do anything into a healthy person that wants to has a standard of exercising a few times a week. And how many times do we please other people, like our mothers, like our grandmothers, like everybody like that, by saying the things that they want to hear and not insulting our friends? That's not lying. That's pretending to be something else until we become that something else. For me, for example, when I wanted to be a happier person, when I wanted to be a more abundant person, I started realizing that I need to change my state and my vibration, also in my mental, meaning my thoughts and my beliefs, and also in my emotional, in order to become that person. So think about how powerful your subconscious is, and think about how you're using it now. Think about the belief systems that you're allowing your subconscious to recreate a program in your mind. Think about the programs that are already there. Think about the postures that you have. Think about the different reactions that you have. I'll give you another story, another thing about the subconscious, that you guys are going to be quite amazed about this statistic. Did you know that taller people make more money? Meaning, the taller you are, the bigger your salary is. Now, you will think that doesn't make sense. That makes perfect sense. Because the person, it's not about his IQ, it's not about the type of job he has, it's about how other people look at him and make him feel. statistic that is based on a scientific research. And then I asked myself, how is that possible? And then everybody explained to me that people who are taller, people who have a deeper voice, people who have, you hear how my voice just changed when I said that? People who have this authority, others immediately react to them like they're the bosses, like they're the one that are managers, and managers get paid higher than other people. So it doesn't matter that that child, before he became an adult, everybody started treating him in a different way. So his subconscious had that program that this is the way I should go, this is the way I am, and it was really, really easy for him. And of course, there's shorter people who are overachievers. Napoleon was one of them as well. And they have their thing, but I'm talking about statistical, and I'm talking about research. So that's again something that is in the subconscious. So I want you to think with me, now that you know all these things, what is your posture telling you about yourself? Are you neglecting the body? Are you walking around like a depressed person a little bit? And again, that will just deepen that depression or deepen that negativity. And ask yourself, what are the programs that I've allowed myself to endure in my life? And what can I change now? What decisions in my life were made for me by my parents, by society, by my school, by my teachers, by everything around me? And what can I now change? And now it's going to be harder to make that change. And you have to really persist with it. What are the thoughts and my beliefs that I keep telling myself? What are the stories that I keep telling myself about how much money I deserve in my life, about what type of partner I deserve in my life, about what I can achieve in my life? And all these things are part of our subconscious. Well, now when we bring them up to the awareness level, that's the place that we can start working on them. And the beautiful thing is adding layers to your subconscious. Meaning, now that you understand how the mechanism works, now you can use it for yourself. For example, if you want to make a big change in your life, for example, I wanted to be more aware of my thoughts before they come in, before they become a part of me. So I started analyzing, and every day, a few times a day, I made a stop and ask myself, what am I thinking right now? Is it positive? Is it negative? Am I breathing deeply or am I breathing shallow? Am I enjoying the conversation we're having right now or am I not? I ask myself all these questions until they become an awakened part of myself that is just automatic. So when I talk to someone, because I'm a guide, I immediately analyze the story that they're telling themselves. So I let them finish the story, and then I'm asking themselves some questions that are the exact opposite of that thing. For example, right now I'm in London and we're doing a breathing initiation, and one of the ladies has a story that is going to be difficult. So she tells me about her expectations, that she doesn't want to drive, she didn't want to take a flight back because she knew she's going to be exhausted. And I'm hearing all these things, and I'm like, okay. So why don't you start with the story I'm telling myself is that I'm going to be exhausted. The story that I'm telling myself is that this is a difficult process. The story that I'm telling myself is that I'm one of those weak ones that is going to have difficulties with integrating this into my life. And when I say all these things, I'm becoming more and more aware of what it is that I'm telling myself, and the story that creates the program, that creates the belief that eventually the body listens to and reacts in accordance to. So when you stop all those stories, you become more aware of the things that you tell yourself, the complaints, the judgment that you tell other people about your life, about your partner, about everything in existence. Then you start understanding where your belief lies in. And then you start changing the story, changing your state. And that immediately impacts the subconscious. For example, 2 weeks ago, we were in Phoenix. We had a workshop of 55 amazing people, and we had a new workshop, which is breaking a wooden board. And I didn't do it myself as well before that. And the new instructor, my new team member, Jill, she told me, Ray, we're going to do this. And I was like, really? And so she brings the board, and I'm seeing that this is a piece of wood. It's thick. It's not something small. It's not something cut. It's not that we're tricking other people. And I'm telling her, we have 70-year-olds here. We have 20-year-olds here. And she says, everybody's going to cut the board. You have to change their state. And we did it. And you know something? I'll put a short cut from that thing, and I'm going to show you this. This is quite amazing. And everybody, 55 people that we were in the room, every one of them broke the board. Why? Because we changed their state. We had an hour of preparing them. We have them written their life goals on one side and the things that they don't want on the other side. We had them put a huge X. We had them practice in the right way. We taught them everything. We changed their state. We changed their belief. So my friends, I hope you enjoy and you understand more about the insemination of your subconscious and working with our programs in order to create a newer and better version of ourselves. If you want to join my newsletter or simply join one of my workshops, check out my full schedule on maor.com. If you enjoyed this video, like it or even share it. I'll see you in the next video.